Thank you and welcome all. I am really honored to have you all here with me. So my speech is being on purpose. Have you ever been asked what's your why or what's your purpose?
Yes.
So it's a question that makes us really think. Is it our goals? Is it our duties? Or is it all of that? So one of the books I read said, ask yourself this question. Why do I exist? Why do you exist? What's a difficult question? And it makes people really think and having difficulty coming up with the answer. So to me, the question has a broad meaning and it encompasses my whole life. So as spiritual human beings and children of God, were all created, as we know, in His image. We all know God is love, God is forgiving, God is responsibility, God is humble, and so on. An author by the name of Kenneth Blanchard, in his book, The Power of Ethical Management, he described purpose as the first principle of ethical power. So by purpose, I mean your objective or intention, something towards which you are always striving to be. Purpose is something bigger. It's bigger than your goals. It is the picture you have of yourself, the kind of person you want to be, the kind of life you want to lead. So last week I was watching the news, and it was the CBC, and they were doing an interview with this young hockey player. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it. 26 years old, hockey player, background Jamaican, lives in Montreal, lives in the plays at the Montreal team. He donated $10 million to the hospital for sick children in Quebec City. Anyone here 26 years old or younger? Huh? Well, I know when I was 26 years, if you give me $1 million, the last thing I would think of is donating, from it anything. So the interviewer asked him, what made you donate $10 million? And then he said that it's just like the happiness and the fulfillment I got from this is indescribable. She told me, you could have bought a yacht with this money. But he said, you know what, maybe that's somebody else's goal. But for me, this is like indescribable. So on purpose, persons seek their true success in people, relationships, faith, love, and service, never in things. Ultimately, we are each responsible for defining our own standard for success. Some persons place it in dollars earned or possessions owned. Quite different people strive for a higher goal. Their success is measured in terms of lives saved, mind thoughts, people served, and love given. A couple of authors by the name of Dudley Lynch and Paul Cordis, they call it that we can define purpose in several ways. For one, we know our purpose. When we know our purpose, we can have an anchor, a device of the mind to provide some stability, to keep the surprises of a creative universe from tossing us to and from inflicting constant seasickness on us. Or we can think of our purpose as being a master nautical chart, marking shoals and rocks, sandbars and derelicts, something to guide us and keep us on course. So when I think about this, your purpose is a spark, is the ignite. Your goals, are your fuels. This is the fuel to propel you and move forward. And so when you are having definite specific goals backed by the foundation, which is the purpose. You will look, you will know where are the shoals, the derelicts, the sandbars. You know you're focused. Nothing will distract you or take you away from your goals. So perhaps the most profound thing we can say about being on purpose is that when that is our status, our condition, and our comfort, we find our lives have meaning. And when we are off purpose, we are confused about meaning and motives. So developing our purpose causes us to look within. Can you see that how having goals without the foundation of purpose is like a house built on sand? I'm sure you have heard of the two houses, one built on sand and one built on rock, right? So the owner who built his on sand, he spent money on comfort material, okay? But he went cheap with the foundation. And the person who invested on the foundation, he put a lot of money there. So whenever a storm comes in, he was able to stand there and pass the turbulence. So your purpose is like the 10 commandments of how you like to lead your life. Before I discover my purpose, which is faith, cheerful giving, and confidence, my focus is merely on myself and the duties I perform. And many times I find myself going through the motion, and depending on the results I get, I find myself either inspired or disappointed because of the result I get. It's just like I am the victim of the result. If the result is good, I'm happy. If the result is bad, I'm disappointed. And I used a lot of the personal edits. I learned at NLP Canada, to change my state quickly. I don't know if you guys have done any of their courses here. It's awesome. Yes. So many times I find myself, my business dictates my times and how I want to spend it. And if I'm going to spend my time on something, it has to be financially rewarding to me. Otherwise, I either skip it, or just I find myself reluctant to attend. If there is no money reward, it's waste of my time. So a couple of personal experiences I like to share. One is my aunt. She's in a nursing home, and I never have time. I care for her, and I am the power of attorney with my brother, and she doesn't have any family. And I find myself whenever time permits, and it's like time is never available. The best I can do is just call the nurse. How is she doing? And pass the phone on to her, but don't make time. So after discovering my purpose, I am intentional about it. My aunt visit is important. In my schedule, weekly, I have to go see her and sit with her, chat with her, do a domino game, read a chapter in the Bible, do something with my aunt. She's handicapped on a chair. And that really gives me fulfillment and joy. Okay.